Major flash flooding in the east coast, possible fires in the west, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour throughout, and large hail in the Eastern Rockies. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. Today is July 31st, 2025. In terms of flash flooding, the Weather Prediction Center has issued a moderate risk, or a 3 out of 4 in the mid-Atlantic, and these places in the next 24 hours may see rainfall from 1 to 2 inches, and in isolated places 3 to 6. And a lot of these areas are going to have an increased flash flood risk because it's very urban, from New York City to Philadelphia to Washington DC and Baltimore. Now in contrast, if we look in the west, we have a critical fire risk, or a 2 out of 3 in Utah and surrounding areas, and also isolated dry thunderstorms possibly in the west. These areas are going to see relative humidities below 10%, which is extremely dry, but also have surface winds up to 20 to 30 miles per hour, which is going to make it extremely easy for any fires to spread. Now for severe weather, we have 2 slight risk areas, or 2 out of 5 in the Eastern Rockies and mid-Atlantic, and we also have a marginal risk in Arkansas and the surrounding areas. Localized damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour is going to be the greatest risk for these areas, but in addition to that, large hail from 1 to 2 inches in diameter are also going to be a risk for the Eastern Rockies specifically. Okay, so time frame starting with the northeast. Upstate, you guys are already seeing remnants of the past storms from yesterday, and that's going to travel eastward towards the east coast, and we're going to see an intensification around 18Z or 2 p.m. Eastern time. And these storms are going to be pretty slow moving, so you can expect storms from this afternoon, evening, but they will move out by night. For Arkansas and the surrounding areas, you may see isolated storms right now this afternoon, but you may see more around 20Z or 3 p.m. Central time. For the eastern to northern Rockies, you can also see something at 20Z, which is 2 p.m. Mountain time. Looking at 500 millibars or midway through the troposphere, we're going to have a ridge that goes from the west coast to the Rockies, and this is going to be responsible for 2 things. One, it's going to transport the dry air into the Utah area, but also it's going to help transport that residual moisture that we saw from the last few days that's been producing the thunderstorms in the Eastern Rockies, but also for the northern Rockies today. And embedded with that, we're going to have a shortwave trough, and that's going to do 2 things for us. One, it's going to bring in good shear, which is going to tilt those updrafts and prolong those storms, but also there's going to be some spin or vorticity, and that's going to help with the upward motion in these areas, especially in the Eastern Rockies. For Arkansas, there's really not much anything, and there's pretty weak shear, so any storms that do form in these areas probably will not last that long. But for the mid-Atlantic, there's a really broad trough, and that's going to bring in really good shear, which is helping prolong these storms that do develop today. Looking at the surface, we have a cold front that's going all the way from the east coast all the way down to Arkansas, and this cold front is going to be entering a very warm and moist environment, which is going to help with the surface lifts. But for the Eastern Rockies, we're going to have the same story as we have for the past few days, where we have a high pressure in the northern plains, and that's clockwise flow, and it's bringing in somewhat easterly winds, which is going to cause orographic lift because the winds cannot go through the ground. They're going to follow the terrain upward, which is going to force upward motion. And if we take a look at satellite imagery, we can see that the east coast has somewhat clear skies, and that's going to help with diurnal heating, more surface heating, more instability. And we can see that a little bit in Arkansas, and we can see a lot of sunshine also in the Rockies as well. And this is why we have